Welcome to your Week 7 edition of Auburn Head to Head. I'm Lauren Sisler with AL.com. Jim Dunaway with the Jocks Roundtable, hanging out here in the Caliber store in Homewood, Alabama. Check them out for all your hunting and fishing needs. Jimmy D, what's up?
Well, you got Hunter Orange over there on this side of the Caliber store. We'll get a picture of that maybe a little bit later on. Hunter Orange is coming to Jordan-Hare Stadium.
That's right.
That Tennessee Orange is coming just in time for deer season. They're coming off of bye week. Auburn is 15.5-point favorites against the Tennessee Vols after their loss at Mississippi State. To me, on paper, Auburn a much better football team, but the game's not played on paper. You got to factor in the mentality of what Auburn is now after the loss at Mississippi State, their second loss of the year, and now they start wondering what can they do with all their goals. College football playoff maybe looks a little longer shot now. Winning the SEC West looks a little tougher. You already got 2 losses with Georgia and Alabama still out there. This Tennessee game can be a little tricky this weekend.
All right, we're going to go 3 and out, and we have 6 up, 6 down. We're going to go midterm report cards. We're going to break it down: offense, defense, special teams. And Jim, I'll start with you. How are you grading out the offense as a whole thus far?
As a whole, I'm going to give it a D, a flat D, not D plus,
D for
D minus.
Dunaway?
No, but it's a D for not meeting expectations. They haven't been average. Very few times can you only get 3 field goals in a meaningful game and win that football game. They get 0 touchdowns in Starkville, and Jarrett Stidham's completion percentage is down from 66% last year to 60%. That may not seem like a huge drop, but it is a huge drop when you're trying to be at that elite level of offense. The missed wide receiver on the flea flicker play probably still haunts him in his sleep right now, and you just wonder where this team is offensively. So from play calling to offensive communication to quarterback play to the offensive line that we've talked about a lot, I'm giving the offense a D. All
right, I'm going to bump that up just a little bit, C minus. I'm in line with you there. I think that this offense has struggled. This is now 3 games in a row they haven't produced 100 rushing yards. That is one of the worst offensive productions we've seen in this Gus Malzahn era. They've got to find a rhythm. They've got to figure it out. On the upside, I think the offensive line did improve a little, but as you said, a lot of haunting plays and just no way out against a Mississippi State team on the road.
All right, let's go second down and defense here. Give me your defensive grade for Auburn.
I would have said an A minus. I'm going to slip that down to a B plus. I think this Auburn defense has really kept them in the game, has really kind of given them that spark that they need. We knew coming into the season the defense was going to be a strong force for them, and it has continued. But think about it. They gave up 349 yards on the ground against Mississippi State. So that's not Kevin Steele football right there. That's not Kevin Steele defense. So I think that's something they need to improve on, giving up those kind of yards on the ground. They did, however, limit Nick Fitzgerald in the air. So there's, the good and the bad with that.
I'm going to go B plus as well. They don't beat Washington without this defense. They don't have a chance to beat LSU without this defense. And all things considered, I know it was a lot of rushing yards, but the defense with back against the wall, fumble, punt here, this mistake, kept them in with a chance to win the game in Starkville this past weekend. So that defense, I think, has emptied its tank for this offense, and it's time for the offense to pick up a little bit for this defense. So I'll give them a B plus. I think Kevin Steele's done his job. Now it's time for Gus and Chip to get it done on the offensive side of the football to help out the defensive side of the football.
Okay, we're going third down now, Jim. Special teams. How you grading out special teams thus far?
Such a hard one to grade because there's a high bar to Auburn. The special teams have been so good year after year after year after year. But special teams, you've had some missed kicks, some makeable kicks from your new kicker, but also you had fumbled punts this past week. Fumbles on kicks. You've had penalties on kicks. So I'm going to go with a flat C. I think by Auburn standards, the special teams has been very average.
I agree with you on that. I think it has been very average. We did see Anders go out there and kick 3 of 4 on field goals, so that was a bit of an improvement. He missed the 50-yarder. The muff punts, though, were killer. And, special teams is something that can certainly, keep these guys in the game. And the muff punt obviously ended up kind of being the dagger where Mississippi State was able to drive down and, convert on a touchdown with that. So, again, not the greatest, still some improvement there. I think that, this Auburn team has some work, but I'd like to see them, show some improvement against Tennessee as they come into Jordan-Hare Stadium this weekend. And that gets us to
bruh.
What does that even mean? Bruh.
What does it mean?
What does it mean? Bruh basically means like, so what did Auburn do in this football game? I'm getting laughs on the other side of the camera there. It basically means, what did Auburn do in this football game that they might wish they could take back? And for me, you alluded to it a little bit earlier. The flea flicker play to Darius Slayton. Jarrett Stidham overshoots him, wide open receiver. That could have ultimately been the momentum shift that they needed going into that second half. I think that that was something that certainly could have hugely played into their favor, given them the upside going into the second half, and hopefully that momentum that they needed to maybe erase some of those mistakes that we saw. So that would be my bruh moment.
You know, Chip Lindsey actually said it's common sense. That was his word, common sense, that you don't overthrow a receiver that wide open, that you underthrow it. You don't overthrow it. So that one is one that was a game changer, but so too was the Boobie Whitlow reaching for the end zone. He loses the ball, fumble through the end zone, Mississippi State gets that back. I mean, in that situation, you don't really need to lunge and reach the ball for a touchdown. You're gonna have first down. You're gonna be on the 1 yard line. You're really technically the better team in that situation. Just tuck and go down at the 1. Don't stretch the football, don't risk it. You know, so many close calls in that game that didn't go Auburn's way, but that was a big one there. I think that was the biggest play in the football game, and bruh, if that ends up going Auburn's way, they probably win.
I agree with you on that. All right, we're heading to our picks now. I like how you said bruh.
Bruh.
Jim, I will let you go first. The spread, -15.5. Does Auburn cover? Yes or no, and why?
Boy, if I could know mentally, if they show up, then Auburn covers easily. If they don't, if they're worried more about the 85 and not the 1, not the team, but worried about individuals, this can get tricky because Tennessee played their best game at Georgia. Then they had a bye week. Jeremy Pruitt knows the Gus Malzahn way of doing things. Beat him as a defensive coordinator when he was at Florida State, was at Georgia, was at Alabama. So the two know each other a lot. Jeremy Pruitt doesn't have a very good offense. So I'm going to go Auburn's defense wins the game, but I'm going to say only by 14 points. I'm going to say the final score is Auburn 27, Tennessee 13.
Ooh, I thought you were going to say my score. I'm going 24-10. I agree with you on so many levels. I think that Auburn, the mentality of this football team coming off of that loss, they took one to the chin against Mississippi State. You know, I think that this will be a great opportunity for them to bounce back, try to pick up the pieces. I know the Auburn fan base is none too happy. I know this Auburn team's none too happy. So if they want to get out there, this is a great opportunity for them to do so against a Tennessee team, like you said, that's coming off a bye week. They'll be a little more well-rested, but I do think the defense will help them win this one, 24-10. That's my final score, and I guess we'll see you next week, folks. This video was brought to you by Caliber, a luxury store in Homewood, Alabama that's reviving the finer things in hunting and fishing.